Okay, so I know this was quite fast when you just opened the book, but I hope you arrived at something that's worth talking about. So, which of the research designs do you think is most similar, or are most similar to what we're doing in this course? What would you say? I mean, the qualitative part of this course.
Reviewing for case study.
Yeah, why's that?
Ungefär om man väljer väl en individ som man vill studera. Man väljer väl ett case.
Det var väl liksom alltså ett specifikt ämne som vi liksom vill rikta in oss på innan vi gått till intervjun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's come back to that in a second. Are there any other research designs that are similar to this?
I guess you want to choose a research design that gives you a chance to go more in depth, ner på djupet. Med färre deltagare.
I agree that, I think the case design, case study is probably what's closest. Do you think it would be a case study if we had more than one interview participant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Det kan bli team.
How so?
Kan vara ett lag också.
Yeah. Okay, so a case study is not. It doesn't have to be just one individual or one phenomenon. You can do a case study with more participants. Yeah. I guess it depends on what you perceive to be the case. I mean, if you're doing a case study on motivation, then you can gather information from several participants. The reason why this task was a little difficult for you guys is that I think that the authors of the book are probably more interested in quantitative methods. So they had like experimental design and longitudinal design that are, classic quantitative methods. And unfortunately, that's not uncommon in sports studies, that people are more interested in the quantitative part. Sometimes it happens that we have a book like, what's the title, research design for sports studies or something like that, right? So they're kind of doing the whole research package and then they kind of neglect the qualitative part a little bit. Okay, what about sampling methods explained in chapter 7? Did you get to that? Yeah?
Vad sa vi? Använder väl någon typ av convenience. Ta det som
I agree.
enkelt att göra en studie på.
Can you describe convenience sample?
Ja, det är väl så jag. The sample is chosen as it is convenient in terms of location accessibility. The accessibility troligaste anledningen till att man väljer en viss person.
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense that you guys are doing convenience sample because, the important part is that you guys, are able to do an interview and analyze it and whatnot. It's not that important who you're going to do it with. How many research studies out there do you think, are using a convenience sample? Would it be 50%, 10%, 85%? What do you think? I think you can argue that it's pretty close to 100 because, I mean, any researcher will be looking to find a sample that's as easy to access as possible. So, I mean, if I want to do something on motivation or talent development or whatever, I'm probably going to use a Swedish sample since I'm in Sweden, for instance. So that'll always be a convenience issue in that. Okay, let's move on to a new discussion, and I am hoping for you guys to step it up a little bit. So just use a few more words when you say a sentence and see if you can get a discussion going a little bit. In chapter 7, there are some sampling errors described. So go through those and discuss how many of the sampling errors are we making in this qualitative study. Also, I would like you guys to discuss ideally how large should the sample size for your particular study be. And I'll give you a hint, it's probably more than one. Yeah? Questions? All right, get going.